Hello and welcome, real estate fam. This is Michael K. Storm, aka Sold by Storm, and today I'm in one of my open houses this weekend. But I thought that while I'm waiting for some buyers to come through, I'd make a quick video for you. So this video today is talking about why it's important for you to work with a realtor, also known as a real estate professional, but there is a difference between being a real estate agent or broker and being a realtor. When you are a realtor, that means that you are actually a member of the real estate or the realtor association, and you do have access to information from this national association that can help service your buyers and sellers. One of the big benefits of having a realtor specifically working with you is that they have access to forms and disclosures and contracts that are provided by the Realtor Association. So you would not have access to these disclosures and contracts. And you may say, well, why is that important? It's important because disclosures are to protect your interests and the party's interest as a whole in the transaction. And one reason why I pay fees to the Realtor Association is to have access to those documents for my buyers and sellers. So that is one benefit to working with a realtor. Another benefit for working with a real estate professional in general is if they are active in your market. That means where you are trying to buy or sell a home, then that means that they have experience with the current market and they understand what type of a market it is. Is it a buyer's market, a seller's market, or a more balanced market? Right now in North Carolina, specifically the Piedmont Triad, it is a more balanced market. So real estate is local. That's the reason why you want to work with someone that lives, proximity to where you are trying to sell, because they'll know what's going on. Is it common right now to have to fix everything in the house to sell your house? Or is it a softer market as far as when it comes to buyers? Buyers will accept, purchasing the home without many repairs or whatever the case may be. Also, you want to work with a professional negotiator. That's the reason why when I go to talk with folks about, listing their property, a lot of times I tell them I'm not the cheapest, but I will make up for the commission that you spend on me. So hiring me, I'm going to earn my income. And how am I going to do that? Well, if somebody comes and they are the cheapest person on the block and they'll say, I'll list your house for XYZ, and they don't give you any pushback, they don't care, they just like, I just want the listing, then how much are they going to fight for you when it comes time to negotiate with a potential buyer for your home that's being listed? If they won't even fight for their own income and their own worth, how are they going to do that for you? They'll probably just be like, yeah, it's a good deal, take it, and let's close and keep on moving, because they're into more about volume than they are about quality. And that's one thing I always tell people: if you work with a real estate professional who takes their duties seriously and their fiduciary to you, which is a relationship of trust that they have with you, seriously, then they're going to negotiate on your behalf. They're going to not allow money to be left on the table. And if money is left on the table, it's left on the table because you have an understanding of why you're doing that. So that's another benefit. You're getting not only the knowledge of the area, the current market, and you're also getting the negotiation powers of your real estate professional. And it's important to ask them, how many deals have you done? what work have you done? Give me the history. And you can get a lot of that off of third-party sites. If you look up a certain real estate professional online, you usually see reviews or third-party sites that have a little bit about what they have done in the market. All right. Number three, when it comes to, choosing your real estate professional, make sure there's somebody that you at least know, like, and trust. You might not know them when you first meet them, but you'll just know them when you first meet them, right? There's been some times I've walked into someone's home and I'm there for a listing appointment, and I already can kind of tell something is not gelling. We don't have the same goals in mind. They may have a different objective than what I think. And you know what? That's okay, because it's their property. I'm there to serve them. However, there should be a little bit of a connection there where we can see that our relationship is going to be beneficial for all parties involved, especially myself and them, right? So we want to make sure that we are gelling, that vibe, as we say these days. So make sure it is somebody you know, like, and trust, because you're going to be working with them perhaps for months at a time, and you want to make sure that you just have a general respect and a good working relationship with them. So those are a couple things that I would say that it really does benefit you to work with a real estate professional. Of course, you can do for sale by owner, and people have and do and will always do. And a lot of times it's because they're trying to save money on the listing costs, which would be maybe the commissions, or the cost to stage the house or whatever it might be. So they just put the sign in the yard and say, I can sell it. And there have been times in my career that a rock could sell a house. You just put the sale, especially during the pandemic when we had interest rates like 2.5% and 3%. And man, I had lines going outside of my houses. But that is not necessarily the time it is now. And so you can be a for sale by owner, but there's a lot of things you might want to think through on that. You may not have the knowledge and understanding of the comparables, and you may not already have some of the things that you need to be successful in selling the home. And also, another plus to a real estate professional working with someone in your market is that that person has relationship with other people who work in real estate in that market. That means that when a buyer comes and there's a real estate professional with them that's representing their best interests, maybe I already have a working relationship with that person. So that makes the process go a lot easier a lot of times, because we already have a history, we have an understanding, and professionals work better together. Also, they also have relationship with the attorneys and with the home inspectors and other professional services that you might need during the process. So with all that being said, I hope this gives you a little more information to consider before you're putting your house on the market, and why it's important to work with a real estate professional, and why I say it's important to work with a realtor. All right. Well, as I always say, I look forward to seeing you. I'll be looking for you in those real estate streets. Bye, everybody.